What is going on, everybody, and welcome on in here to the AFC East Roundtable. Of course, this video, this channel, all football season long, is going to be powered and brought to you by BetUS. We'll tell you a little bit later how you guys can get a 125% sign-up bonus, but right now, guys, we are going to be doing something new. We're going to be doing something really special. We're going to be doing a live play-by-play live reactions to the New England Patriots preseason opener against the Carolina Panthers. Jace, all four quarterbacks here are supposedly, I mean, we'll see what happens with Maye. Sometimes, he says something doesn't actually happen, but supposedly all four quarterbacks are expected to start in this game. I mean, straight off the bat, a couple things you're looking for.
For me, it's how much does Jacoby Brissett play? Because I think that obviously we all know he's been named the week one starter as of right now. He's a veteran. How much preseason does he actually need? So I think the big thing for all the Patriots fans is obviously we want to watch a lot of Drake Maye. We want to watch a lot of Joe Milton if he's out there too. But is it one series? Is it two series? Because the other thing is Jacoby Brissett's never played with this offense. He's played in the system with Alex Van Pelt, and he's played on the Patriots, but he's never played with this group of young receivers. So trying to build chemistry with Jalen Polk, Demario Douglas, Hunter Henry, which he has had some good connections with there. And then I'm looking forward to the most is what the offensive line combination is. Now, there actually was a tweet about what the starting O-line combo was going to be, and pretty exciting. Kaden Wallace, left tackle, Michael Jordan, left guard, Nick Levert, center, Layden Robinson, right guard, Calvin Anderson, right tackle. And as I say that, 3rd and 7, Dietrich Wise just gets
with a sack already.
So
some starters
3 and
out
out for the Patriots. Yeah,
starters out
Christian
there
Gonzalez was out there. A lot of them.
That's the most surprising part, though, right? Like, we're not used to, at least this early on, seeing maybe this many starters. And I feel like with Maye, we're going to see something a little bit different, right? Because with Belichick, he kind of, I feel like, it's really weird. He kind of used training camp as an extension to the spring practice, OTAs, minicamp. Then he would use the preseason as kind of like a ramped up training camp. And then he would use the beginning of the regular season as an extension to the preseason, right? I feel like Maye, he's not going to do that. You're going to start preseason. We're playing a preseason game. He's getting his guys ready. He's getting his starters ready. And we're really going to see what this team has. I mean, like we said earlier, all four quarterbacks are projected to start. Even Jacoby Brissett in some type of manner. That's not something we're usually used to seeing. Like, we'll usually see under Bill Belichick as Jacoby Brissett comes out here, we're used to seeing, I would say, the starting quarterback come in maybe a little bit in like the second preseason game. And then the third preseason game, we see like no starters whatsoever. I mean, we got Thornton out there who's been dealing with injuries. We got KJ Osborne, Jacoby Brissett right now under center. Like, we have the starting offense and defense, not totally, but a good portion of it. We're not used to seeing that.
So this O-line combo is interesting. That's the first thing I looked at. David Andrews actually is out there, and Michael Winu's at right guard. Chooks is at right tackle. It looked like City Sal was at left guard. I couldn't tell who was at left tackle. It might be, here it is, Verdarian Lowe. So it's a little different than what they had actually said was going to be there. No Levert. Winu is actually at guard, and so it's a little bit interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining either. I'm excited to see what Kaden Wallace can do and if they put him on the right or left side. But yeah, good run by Ramondre, first down, and then now they're throwing it a little high throw to so a little high throw to of Jacoby
there. Jacoby Brissett's first drop back too here, high pass. I mean, that could have been an interception there. It's going to look like, was that Wallace there?
It is pretty bad. It is pretty bad weather. If you guys aren't watching, like, it's a steady rain. Like, it's not. It kind of sucks because it's not the best conditions you'd want to see for Drake Maye to be throwing the ball in his first preseason in NFL action. But, he'll have to deal with that a lot in New England. So it'll be interesting to work through that.
Yeah, 100% too. And I think what's interesting too is that, over the last few days of training camp, haven't seen Chuks Okorafor first preseason game, opening offensive drive, and we're seeing Chuks Okorafor out there starting right tackle. Jacoby Brissett going long right now for Tyquan Thornton. Not a great ball placement, I would say, there by Jacoby Brissett. But I mean, put it out there in stride a little bit. But it is what it is. First real pass. I mean, minus in that.
I mean, but that's what you want to see. Tyquan Thornton, if he can consistently get behind guys, he was behind the corner on this. Looked like it was just press man coverage. He has the speed, a little bit of an underthrown ball, probably got to it a little bit late. But if you can consistently get something like that from Tyquan, then that changes my opinion that he probably does have a spot on this offense. We just haven't seen that in so long, and he's already been on the team for this is his 3rd year. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even bouncing back to what I said kind of before too about Chusa Okorafor, I mean, I haven't seen him the last few days of practice. He's out there and he's repping in at right tackle. Mainly saw him at left tackle. Maybe the Patriots are done with that experiment. Maybe they're just done with Chusa Okorafor, trying to put him back at left tackle where he played in college as the Patriots obviously go 3 and out here. Patriots defense is going to be coming back here on the field after a few failed passes. But, you know, is this, you think maybe what we're going to see going forward is Chusa Okorafor could be your starting right tackle, and maybe it's left tackle at this point that's kind of up there, because we saw Kaden Wallace at some point in training camp repping with the first team offensive line at left tackle. Haven't seen that as of late. He's kind of now been repping with the second team for whatever reason that is. Vidarian Lowe repping with the Patriots first team at left tackle. So it went from, you know, stability at left tackle to questions at right tackle to now maybe stability at right tackle with questions at left tackle.
yeah, I think that that's where it's trending. And I think that that's probably what I expected the most because, right, you sign Chuks Okorafor, you draft Kaden Wallace. Those are guys that have always played right tackle. And so it honestly makes sense to me. I hope that Kaden Wallace can pan out at left tackle because we need a solidified left tackle. And Vidarian Lowe, maybe it's Calvin Anderson. He's coming back from a season-ending injury last year, so he didn't play much. So it will be interesting to see where it goes there. But yeah, and they've shown that they're consistently going to put Michael Winter at guard, which I still think is a surprise to me. Like I was fully expecting him to be tackle. I was fully expecting City Sal and someone else, whether it's Lever or even Layden Robinson or Mafi or someone to be the 2 guards. And then obviously David Andrews at center. So you're already seeing a little bit of a shakeup than what I initially has anticipated. But like you said, that's what they repped in most of camp. Like most of camp, Owenu was at guard. And Chuks Okorafor was bouncing back and forth, but hopefully they finally found a spot for him. So for me, I want to see consistency. I think I said that in the last time we were live is like, if they're going to put Chuks Okorafor at right tackle, I'm fine with that. But I just don't want to see them bouncing back and forth. Like this offensive line combination, whatever it is, needs to build some camaraderie because the last 2 years we've seen 15 different O-line combinations in our 17 games. It's just been a mess between injuries and guys not performing. And so finding some stability, especially at the tackle position, is going to be huge. And I think that's what they need to find.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I believe I'm saying this right, Elmos World, Elmo, so I get it, Elmos. All right, I like it. Saying, if you guys do live streams on a regular basis, basically we should add a scoreboard. Go Jets. First off, appreciate you for being a Jets fan and being in here listening to a live play-by-play for your in-division rival Patriots. But I know that this upcoming season, I'm at least going to be doing live watch parties for the Patriots regular season, trying to figure out how to get a scoreboard. I'm not 100% sure how to do it right now, trying to kind of figure that out. I'll try to put kind of the score down here, but it's not going to be all fancy. So I'm going to try to figure it out for the upcoming season. And who knows, maybe me and Jace can work something out to where over on Patriots Global, we can have a Patriots Global Patriots Drive, kind of a weekly thing, kind of a watch party going on there. But yeah, a lot of great stuff coming up. Right now, we're kind of just testing the waters. Me and Jace, obviously, over the last few weeks, kind of had some conflicting kind of schedules, haven't been able to kind of really talk too much about training camp and whatnot. Wanted to come here, kind of test the waters with the play-by-play, see the interest, and just build up the hype as we see Drake Maye for the first time.
Yeah, I'm excited. There's a game note right here if you guys aren't watching. It's exactly 1 month until the game against the Bengals. So, yeah, we're getting preseason football, but we're 1 month to the day away from when the Bengals will be taking on the Patriots in week 1. So, but yeah, defense back out on the field after the Patriots, they ran 5 plays. They got 1 first down and stuff. So, defense so far, the defense has looked, as strong as we thought they would be. There's a TFL by Quale at defensive line right there on a short little run. So, defense stepping up to the task. Now, there is no Bryce Young. For those of you guys that aren't following the game, Bryce Young is not playing for the Carolina Panthers. So, quarterback is obviously not the starter for Carolina, especially for these first couple drives, but still, you expected this defense, especially against an offense last year that was not very good. You expected the defense to come out early and dominate.
Yeah, I agree. And shout out to DKL here with the $2 donation, says F them Patriots. You know what? You're in here, you're donating, you're giving back to Roundtable Sports. So not going to get on you too much, but you know what? I love how even when the Patriots are bad, we're still good, right? People still hate us. That says something. I love it.
How far behind are you, Colby?
Right now I'm at 2nd and 10, 11.
Okay.
39. You might be a few seconds ahead of me.
I'm probably a few seconds ahead of you. Yeah. Well,
big play about to happen.
If you see it, we'll
got me
see.
excited.
It could have been a big play.
Oh, that should have been by Gonzo right there. That interception. Tip
Yep.
drill right there. But you know what? He did what he needed to do, right? The correct thing there is to always play the defender, right? Like, don't play the ball, play the defender, and that's what he did. At the end of the day, you want your corners to be locked down and play their player, not necessarily play the ball, because you play the ball, then, you know, sometimes you can get a little bit lost, and that leads to big play potential and some miscommunication. So, you know what? Yes, you would have loved the interception there by Gonzo, but at the end of the day, playing the defender, making sure the catch didn't happen, that has to be priority one.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll see right here coming up, they have a third down drop on a pretty good route concept over the middle of the field. So like I said, if you guys aren't here, or if you guys aren't watching the game, it's not good conditions. It's rainy, it's wet, it's slippery. Quarterbacks have had a couple of high-low throws. There's already been a couple drops. One from the Patriots on it was an iffy pass by Jacoby Brissett, but then another one right here by the Panthers on third down. So not good conditions. It'll be interesting to see how Drake Maye handles that when he does come out. We're coming up on drive 2. We'll see. I would expect Jacoby Brissett to come back out here.
Did Hawkins force that play there on third down? Because it looked like the receiver kind of went to the ground, could have had it, but then Hawkins, the free safety, comes in, makes a play on him, and then he drops the ball. So I wonder if that was more of a play by Hawkins than it was maybe the conditions.
I think there is an opportunity for there to be a catch off of the bounce, right? Like, you know, he kind of he had it in his bread basket and it bounced off him. So I think that there's a chance he could have maybe concentrated and caught it again, but it was definitely one that probably wouldn't have been affected where he was sliding down. So if he would have caught it on first contact, he probably would have had the first down right there. So, but Austin, this is a good comment right here. As a Fins fan, you guys actually have good insights. So that's good to hear, man. We're just here to try to bring some Patriots fans to this channel, because as of, you know, the first couple of years of this roundtable, there really haven't been much, and there hasn't been the best representation. So
no, we're gonna bring the representation here for the Patriots, of course, to the roundtable. I understand that last year was historically a bad season for the Patriots. I mean, when I say historic, I mean that just never happens in Patriots franchise history. Like, that's very few and far between. So we're gonna build it up. You guys ride with us. You know, we're gonna try to stay as unbiased as possible. The AFC East Roundtable on Wednesdays is where you guys kind of get that head-to-head, back and forth, you know, maybe a little bit of delusional takes from time to time, but here on Patriots Roundtable, we like to keep it real. We like to keep it legit. We like to keep it analytical. We like to give you guys actual breakdowns on what's happening and not just like biased Patriots fans off.
Try not to. So
we try not to.
But what? So I mean, we saw Tyquan Thornton snap 1, KJ Osborne, drive 1. So we haven't seen any of the rookies yet. It was mostly 12 personnel from what I remember. There was 2 tight ends in most of the time. So, I mean, what do you think? Have you heard anything? Are we going to see much of Pop Douglas I know he's been in a red non-contact jersey for a good portion of camp so far. Do you think we see him? It will probably be limited, if anything.
From what I'm hearing, he is not suiting up tonight. Like you said, he's been in that red non-contact jersey. When I was there just last week, the entire time was in that red non-contact jersey. I feel like he's starting to get ramped up a little bit more, but maybe dealing with a little bit of an injury. He's going to be a massive piece to this offense. And I feel like every time he is with the team in 11-on-11s and 7-on-7s, he's the guy making the play with any quarterback. He's bringing that explosiveness to the Patriots in all 3 phases of the field. And Drake Maye, for the first time on the field right now. We're going to see what he looks like for the first time. But, you know, he obviously North Carolina working with Josh Downs, very similar to kind of that Demario Douglas role. So I think they know Demario Douglas is going to have a massive, massive role with this team.
Wow. So drive 2, Jacoby Brissett. I mean, obviously he's a veteran. We're not reading anything into this, but he gets 4 plays, 1 drive, and he's out. And it's Drake Maye. And they're starting in 12 personnel. Antonio Gibson's in the backfield. 11. You do have Jalen Polk out there, Rager, and Juju Smith-Schuster. So,
and not much there for Antonio Gibson.
Got a little bit of youth on the field right here. Let's see how we can do this drive.
I'll be curious to see if they play Jalen Polk too, because Jalen Polk's going to be an immediate starter. From what I'm hearing, who Drake Maye was warming up with before the game started, Jalen Polk wasn't a part of that combination. It was Javon Baker. So
Polk's out there right now.
Polk's out there right now. Perfect.
Yep,
and because one of the things
he's with Juju Smith-Schuster on the bottom of the screen right here.
One of the things we also have to keep in mind, too, is the fact that Drake Maye hasn't really been working with the starters throughout training camp. He's been working, as we have a flag on the field, but he's been working more so with that second team, third team receivers and offensive line. So it's going to be kind of curious to see the receivers and the cast that he's working with. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster obviously has to prove himself if he's going to make this roster. I think it really doesn't matter how he plays in the preseason. Like, he's probably just gone at this point. So, at some point you want to see Drake Maye actually work with these young guys that are going to actually make the team and not guys who are fighting to make the team.
Yeah. 2nd and 14. That was Chukes Okorafor on the false start on 2nd and 9. So get him bumped back a little, cute little draw here. Antonio Gibson. So far, pretty conservative. That's one other thing I'm interested to see is obviously it's not the best conditions. It's Drake Maye's first game, but how open are they? Are they going to let him throw the ball a lot, or is it just going to be, really dink and dunk stuff? Now, I would hope they'll open him up a little. They're not going to show everything, right? The preseason is just kind of get your legs under you, get some competition. Obviously, joint practices are coming up too, but I would hope they don't hold him back too much this game. Like, let him throw a couple, let him learn, let him get out there. Let's see what he's about.
Yeah, 3rd and 12. And, we kind of saw throughout training camp too, Drake Maye not really pushing the ball down the field too much. Really good screen pass there. They're going to pick up the first, and they do pick up the first screen pass there to Antonio Gibson. So at least the Patriots do convert. But again, same thing that we have been seeing with Drake Maye, playing conservative, relying on the run game, relying on the screens, relying on the checkdowns, not pushing the ball down the field too much. Over the last few days of training camp, seeing Drake Maye push the ball down the field a little bit more. But again, everything's really sped up for him right now. When things start to slow down mentally for him, he gets more comfortable. That's when we're going to see the physical side come out more. That's when we're going to see him, throw the ball down the field a little bit more. But right now, he's a rookie. The last thing he wants to do is come in making all these mistakes and then, not make a start this upcoming season, lose the starting job, because his goal is to start as soon as possible.
There we go. We see his first little throw, and you can just tell it's crappy conditions. That ball comes out of his hand wobbly, a little bit high, not able to be brought in by Jalen Reagor. But 1st and 10, play action pass. So I guess second pass by Drake Maye, and his Patriots uniform is incomplete, a little bit off target and stuff. But
that's all right. That's okay. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Now, we know that Drake Maye is the type of quarterback who doesn't start the game necessarily well. He has to get into a little bit of a rhythm. I hope that they keep him out there for long enough to get into a rhythm.
Yeah, I would hope that they keep him out here until at least halftime right here. Like, especially since you pulled Jacoby Brissett so early, like he's only got a series. Let Drake Maye run this offense until halftime, and then you can get in Joe Milton, Bailey Zappe. Maybe even you carry it on through there. But I would hope he gets at least a half of football in today.
Yeah, especially too, because I don't know, like, I don't need to see Bailey Zappe. You want to put out Joe Milton in the 4th quarter, go ahead. We don't need to see Bailey Zappe. We know what he is at this point. The only reason to play Bailey Zappe is if you're trying to make him look good and kind of use him as trade bait. Other than that, see what you have with 3 guys that haven't been here yet. Drake Maye dropping back.
Jermichael Hasty.
Another check down.
Yeah, it's not going to get a first down, but he has a free runner off the outside. Pressure in his face. He doesn't force it. He doesn't hold on to it too long. They don't get a first down, so they're coming off the field. But, that's also part of progressing as a young quarterback, right? Is noticing, hey, I got to get this ball out quick, and if I don't have anything, I probably shouldn't force it down the field. So not horrible there. They don't really do much. They do a screen pass with him, and he hits a check down. He misses his only throw down the field, which was about a 12, 15-yard curl. And again, they only get 1 first down, and they're off the field on offense. So,
yeah, I think too, what you're seeing here in terms of Kevin Harris or Jermichael Hasty is that we're seeing Kevin Harris early on. He has been the 3rd running back so far on the Patriots on the depth chart and in training camp and whatnot. Clearly seems to be the same kind of thing here. And Jace, like I had told you before, it's really going to depend between Jermichael Hasty and Kevin Harris making the third running back on this roster. It's going to depend on what the Patriots want, because I can tell you in training camp, Kevin Harris did not look good catching the ball, dude. I'm talking about just a few yards out, easy checkdowns. It's not like it's Joe Milton flinging the ball at his face. Easy checkdown, few yards out, could not make a play on it. Could not catch the ball several different times. I'm not just saying one drop, several different times. So it's going to depend, because if they want that bully ball running back to give them some depth, that's Kevin Harris. But if they want a guy who's going to give you some special teams, is going to be all right in the running game, but be a definite threat in terms of a receiving back, then that guy is Jermichael Hasty. At this point, I think Kevin Harris is kind of like a Sony Michel. I wouldn't say he's as good of a rusher, but in terms of the receiving game, he's not going to give you anything.
Yeah, his role is going to be a third down, short yardage back. We have Jermichael Hasty, we have Antonio Gibson for that. I mean, that's what was really good about, in my opinion, seeing Antonio Gibson get that first down on 3rd and 12, it was, I believe, 3rd and 13 on a screen pass, right? That's what the Patriots have been missing in the backfield for so long is, hey, we haven't had the James White, we haven't had the Shane Vereen, Danny Woodhead type of guys. So to see early that you're getting in a guy like Antonio Gibson, he got a run off the right side, and then he also had this last first down on the screen pass. This guy's going to have a big role in the offense, and it's probably going to be a little bit dependent on how Ramondre's doing, how his health is, but he brings you that wide receiver background. He played wide receiver in college at the University of Memphis and running back, and he's kind of was a converted one. So it's interesting to see that. And if you look at the unofficial depth chart that the Patriots released, like you mentioned, I mean, yeah, Kevin Harris is up there, but I mean, I would expect they only bring 4 running backs on the 53, maybe 3. It all depends on how many receivers they bring, in my opinion. So Kevin Harris is probably fighting for a spot right here, even though he was listed as the 3rd deep running back. I don't know if he's a lock to be on this roster.
Yeah, I agree. It's really going to depend on me because, I mean, Terrell Jennings, if he pops off, maybe he makes kind of a case for himself. Nobody's made a case for themselves, I would say truly, as this 3rd running back. I mean, honestly, if nobody pops off, I think there's a real case to where the Patriots only keep 2 running backs. They only keep Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson to maybe keep an extra offensive lineman, keep an extra defensive lineman, keep an extra wide receiver. And they say, we know Jermichael Hasty, Terrell Jennings, Kevin Harris, you guys aren't going to get picked up by any other team. We're going to put you on our practice squad. And if we need you, we're just going to elevate you.
Yep. Is Jake, I was just reading on here, and I probably missed this. Jake Andrews is on season-ending IR.
Yeah, a few days ago, Jake Andrews placed on IR.
I mean,
we didn't see him at all this offseason. So I tweeted this out. I said best case scenario for both sides, because no way Jake Andrews was going to make this roster if he was able to come back at the end and play healthy. So best case scenario, he comes back next year and tries to fight for a roster spot. But I mean, this is 2 years now from a 4th round pick that you're dealing with injuries, and he hasn't contributed in any way, shape, or form.
Another sack right here on 2nd and 4. Who is that? 98 for the Patriots. Why can't I see?
Should have had a roster here.
Farms. Yeah, I think I have one on the depth chart. What's his first name? Why can't I think of it? Jeremiah Farms Jr.
That was Jeremiah Farms?
Jeremiah Farms, number 98.
He had another good play earlier, too, I believe. He had a pressure.
Yeah. So Austin asked me, who's the next jersey on the wall? I think the real question is, you should ask Colby, what's the next Patriots memorabilia on his wall? Look at how much he's got back there.
Dude, I picked these up when I was at Gillette Stadium
That's
the
awesome.
other day. Yeah, dude. I freaking love these. They were like $50.
For me, I don't know. I feel like I got to get a current player. I had a Mac Jones and I have a Matt Judon one. Obviously, I want to get a Drake Maye one, but if I was going to get someone other than Drake Maye, I would want to go with Christian Gonzalez. He'd be one that I want. And then, I mean, I think I really want to get a Javon Baker one, because that was a dude that I love the Patriots getting. So I would say, obviously, Drake Maye. But the problem is I would wear those jerseys, so I don't know if I'd have them up here. So I've also thought about getting like an old school Teddy Bruschi jersey with the Pat Patriot on the shoulder pads, kind of one of those ones. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I have to the wall.
The new jerseys they have, where it's like split, kind of like between like the blue and like the red, and you can get like Bruschi on the back. They got some real interesting ones on the pro shop.
They do. So maybe I should get a Gerard Mayo jersey, customize a Mayo jersey since he's our head coach, and throw it up.
You might be the first one to get a jersey for the coach. That's actually a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, Ashton, if you watched my draft stream, when we drafted Drake Maye, that's exactly what I did. I took my Mac jersey, I put duct tape and said Maye, and then I wore it backwards for the next 3 days of the draft. So I do have that currently on my Mac Jones jersey.
Dude, so many people did that.
I know. I feel like it's going to be a common thing around Gillette Stadium.
You know what? If you get 10, Drake Maye coming right after Mac Jones picks 10. I mean, it's just kind of bound to happen.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull up BetUS.
All right, drive 2 coming up here. It's at a little commercial break, so sorry. I mean, why before? I don't want to get into this because this will be a long conversation. I want to talk about the drive coming up, but when are we going to bring up the Brandon Aiyuk stuff? I know that it's not going to happen, but we should at least talk on it because I know people want to hear.
You know what? I've talked about this, I feel like, at nauseum, Jace. I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. And I know, I mean, if you guys probably are more accustomed to Colby and his channel and stuff, I put out a video also. There's two parts of this, right? For me, in a way, I'm glad we didn't pay him 32 million and 100 million guaranteed, because I don't know if he's worth that. He's a great receiver. The other part of me said I would have done it because of how bad we needed a number one receiver. Now, Brandon asks, are we excited for Jalen Polk and Javon Baker? And I honestly am. And I think that if we keep developing them with Drake Maye, they can become, I don't want to say they can become Brandon Aiyuk, because he's one of the best route runners in the NFL and is like a all pro guy. So I don't want to put that expectations on them. But I think that where we're going with this team, it's in a really good direction. The other part of me says it's really hard because, oh, what are we missing?
It looks like right now what's going on is that Jeremiah Farm's sack, they're debating on if he was down or not, and it's a turnover for the Patriots, but it looks like he was indeed down. So that's going to be a sack and not a forced fumble, or a strip sack rather, on him.
For sure. So, but yeah, so continuing, I'll make this quick. I mean, Ashton says that at least they made an effort. I love that Elliott Wolf's being aggressive. I love that they're willing to spend the money. It gives me hope for the future, you know, that they're going to be willing to go out and sign a guy like this. The other reason I wanted them to take a swing for it is because you only get 5 years of Drake Maye on a rookie contract. And if he turns out that as good as we think he's going to be a $60+ million quarterback come in 5 years. That's what guys are signing for. And they're signing for 50 million plus here. And in, 5 years, it could be even more. And so for me, it's like, hey, you take that chance while you got a rookie quarterback, you let him be with him for 4 years. And then when he's 30 years old and Drake Maye's up for a contract, then you're not paying him anymore. You don't have to give him that money. So those are the reasons I was probably a little bit for it, but I'm fine. It didn't happen. I'm a little upset because of how big of a diva he was. And like everything, we had the best offer, the best picks. We had Kendrick Bourne in the deal. We had the most money offered to him and it still didn't go our way. So that's kind of what makes me a little butthurt.
Yeah, Jason, I know you and I were kind of like talking back and forth when news was dropping about Brandon Aiyuk. And I was like, dude, I don't like the fact that they're putting Kendrick Bourne out there, just because it's kind of a bad look to be like, hey, you're a core player to our team and in the locker room, and you want to be here. You took a pay cut to come here. We just signed you to a 2-3 year extension this offseason, but now we're going to use you as trade bait. Like, it's just not a good look. And especially if the Patriots weren't able to get Brandon Aiyuk, which it looks like they're not going to. And now you just said, we'll give you Kendrick Bourne. And it became public knowledge to where, Jerod Mayo had to meet with Kendrick Bourne. Now you kind of have this feeling of like, Kendrick Bourne feels like you don't want me, and now you didn't also get Brandon Aiyuk. It was a crap show. And I'm not saying that the Patriots, wanted that news to get out there. I'm sure they're pissed about it, but nonetheless, it still got out there.
And Colby, guess what? It's Bailey Zappe at quarterback right now.
And look, Jace, I wonder. Look, we don't know. We don't know what the idea is. We don't know what the plan is for these quarterbacks, but I wonder if maybe, and we'll have to see afterwards, because if the next drive is Joe Milton, I wonder if they're not going like quarters or if they're just going to go drive by drive. This is Jerod Mayo. This isn't Bill Belichick. We could be seeing something different. Let's see what the next drive or two is like and who's under center. If it's still Bailey Zappe, then yeah, we're done seeing Jacoby Brissett and Drake Maye for the day. But if it's Joe Milton, they might be rotating drives, which I think would be stupid because your quarterbacks can't get into a rhythm.
Yeah. That's why I don't like it. That's why I don't like it is if you go 2 drives, if you give Drake Maye a drive on and 2 drives off, what rhythm is he going to get in? I mean, in this rain and getting wet, the ball's getting wet, him getting wet on the sidelines, I just don't think it gets him in a rhythm. So if this is the end of the Drake Maye preseason game 1, I'm a little disappointed. I thought we'd at least see a little bit longer, but now we're seeing Bailey Zappe who throws it out. Here we go. Jalen Polk, his first catch as a Patriot, is a quick little 3-yard hitch route on 2nd and 8. So
yeah, man, I don't know. You know what Bailey Zappe is at this point, and I understand, like, if this was what CJ Stroud was doing, which, by the way, CJ Stroud's first preseason game, I'm pretty sure he played like the majority of that game. He played in a large portion of his preseason opener against the Patriots this time last year. You don't have to worry necessarily about Drake Maye getting injured. It's not that you want Drake Maye to obviously get injured, but like you have Jacoby Brissett, who is at least going to start. If some horrific thing happened where Drake Maye's in a preseason game, he gets injured, you're just not playing him for the year, and you have Jacoby Brissett, who you were going to start for the majority, if not the full season anyway. So why we're not giving him the opportunity, I don't know, but a great contested catch there by Jalen Polk, working through contact on the sideline there. Did he pick up the first on that one?
Yes,
I think they gave it to him.
Yep.
Picked up the first. I mean, that was a good play by the defender. That was some sticky, good coverage, press man, and still just working through contact. Jalen Polk able to make the catch. It's exactly what you want to see. You want to see that he can be that security blanket.
Yeah, and those are the catches that Jalen Polk made a name for himself in college. He creates great separation, but he's also able to, make those contested catches. So almost a botch snap. Bailey Zappe now escapes. He's going to get about 7 yards right here. So could have been disaster, but I mean, where they're moving the ball, they got the ball at the 50. So you expect them to get some sort of points here. Hopefully it can be a touchdown.
Look, Jace, it's just a few plays, obviously. And it's only a preseason game, so there's really not much weight to this. But look, so far out of all three of these quarterbacks, the one producing the best so far is Bailey Zappe.
Okay, calm down here.
I'm not going to lie. Look, it's only like
here.
3 or 4 plays, but so far, the offense is moving more with Bailey Zappe.
Hey, I'm fine with that because after like halfway through last year when and that's already our second pre-snap penalty on the Patriots offensive line. That's annoying. But after the Patriots Mac Jones kind of started sucking, I got a Bailey Zappe RPA. So, I mean, if he plays good, at least his value goes up. I could maybe at least sell the card because it's probably not worth much right now, but that would be the only reason I'm cheering
Mac
for him.
Jones signed helmet, Jay, so that's disappointing.
Well, I have a Mac Jones signed jersey, so we're both in the disappointment right there.
Oh, that one's rough. Yeah.
I got the signed jersey for, roughly $150, or I got the jersey. He signed it when he was a rookie. And then I got it framed like in a nice frame and stuff. It says Patriots on it for like another $300. So I spent like $450 his rookie year when he was about to win rookie of the year. And then
when it looked like he was going to be good.
Now that thing's, not going to be worth very much. So
another flag.
Yep.
I'm trying to see too. I don't know who with the offensive line.
So I saw Michael Judon out there. No, not the NBA player. So that's on Hunter Henry, right? Hunter's 80. No, he's 86. So that's on one of our tight ends. Might be Wilcox. So that's on one of the tight ends. But yeah, let's look at the combo here.
Because that's what I want to say 2 false starts or 2 flags already on the Patriots O-line.
Yeah, two pre-snap penalties and then just a holding right there. So yeah, you have 2 false starts on the O-line. One was on Chuka Okorafor. I didn't catch what the last one was on, and then you have a holding right there against the Patriots. So looks like you still have Verdarian Lowe at left tackle. It's hard to see because you can't really tell. 51's at center. That might be Levert.
Yeah, he's kind of been the second team center behind David Andrews. Jalen Reagor kind of goes up there and grabs a pass that was definitely a little bit too high.
Yeah, 64, Layden Robinson maybe. So yeah, you got kind of a whole new kind of offensive line out here. Obviously, David Andrews, you don't expect him to play much, and a winner. You know what they're going to be. But I don't think we've seen Kaden Wallace yet, which is a little interesting. I have not seen Kaden Wallace yet.
I'm not sure if he was dealing with some type of injury or what. I mean, again, you have to keep in mind too is players you're not seeing, why are you not seeing? And players that you're seeing maybe playing in the 3rd or 4th quarter, why are you seeing those players? You know what I'm saying? Like if we're seeing Jalen Reagor out here in the 4th quarter after halftime, you're probably saying he's not a guy the Patriots necessarily believe in and kind of needs to prove himself to make a roster spot. Kaden Wallace not playing, is it an injury or is it that he's going to be a starter on the O-line and they don't want him to get banged up? Because I will say, when I was at training camp a few days ago, I did see him go down, kind of checking in with trainers at one point. No one really talked much about it in the media, but could maybe be dealing with a little something.
For sure. That's the most typical Patriots drive the last 2 years, in my opinion. You get the ball at midfield, you have a good first down play, a couple good catches, and what happens? You get a pre-snap penalty on a false start, you get a holding, you get moved back, you get off the field on 3rd down, and there is a flag on the field. They might be calling this roughing the passer. Someone went a little high on Bailey Zappe. Nope, grounding. They're calling grounding.
Wow.
Well, see, there you go. So now you're probably out of field goal range, right? Like, that's going to move you back. You're probably out of field goal range, so that's got to be the most Patriots drive the last 2 years right there. And those are the frustrating things is, I get it. Bailey Zappe hasn't started a ton. He's started a couple games, but he's a 3rd-year guy in the NFL, and he's still making those mistakes. Like pre-snap penalty, you can't get the ball, or you're throwing incompletion. So now we got the ball like the 49. We're punting from the 44-yard line right here. We don't even get a field goal out of getting the ball almost at midfield.
I don't know, man. I feel like I obviously understand if you're Bailey Zappe for Alex Van Pelt, like you want him to get the ball a little closer to a receiver there, which is why they're calling intentional grounding. But I don't know. To me, Jalen Reagor slips there. Like, I'm not too sure what you want to do. Like, I would have to go back and look at the play, because if he throws the ball after Reagor slips, obviously you're calling intentional grounding. But if that ball is coming out, before Reagor slipping, that shouldn't be called.
For sure. So
let's see this play real quick. So Jalen Reagor goes down, and then he throws it like 2 seconds later. So you know what? Yeah, that's got to be called on Bailey Zappe. That's got to be called on a quarterback 10 out of 10 times. Unless there was miscommunication, because the guy on the outside looks like he kind of ran a comeback route. Maybe Bailey Zappe thought that he was going to run a go route. I'm not 100% sure. Could be miscommunication. But yeah, it kind of kicks the Patriots out there.
So we'll see. We'll see what comes out next. If it's Drake Maye, Joe Milton, or if it's Bailey Zappe again. We don't know the rotation right now, right? I thought that maybe Brissett would probably get 1 or 2 drives, which he did. I did not expect Drake Maye to get 1 drive. And then now we have Bailey Zappe. So let's see what drive 4 holds in for the Patriots at the quarterback position. But good first down run. Patriots lose a little bit of contain on the outside right there. Looks like Brendan Schooler was outside, got reached, and so lose contain, and they get a 13-yard gain on first down. So that's really the first time the Panthers have really moved the ball on the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, real quick, before we continue on today's live stream, live play-by-play and breakdown reactions for the New England Patriots preseason opener against the Carolina Panthers, we got to give a massive shout out to the best sports book on the damn platform. You guys already know who we're talking about. We're talking about BetUS. Guys, they are giving you an exclusive limited time offer you are not going to find anywhere else. I use BetUS. Everybody on Roundtable Sports, every single one of your favorite creators for each team, they also use BetUS, and we do it for a reason. Link in the description box below, pinned in the comment section below too. Right now, you guys can get a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000. You heard that right, up to $2,000. And guess what? It gets better. It's not just on your first deposit, not just on your second deposit, but up to your first 3 deposits. And what 125% sign-up bonus is, I know we all don't like math, so I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to be nice here, okay? Let's say you put down $100. That turns into $225 for you to play with. Now do that by 3. You guys have a real opportunity to make some serious money. Again, that's linked in the description box below, pinned in the comment section below. BetUS has the fastest payouts in the industry. They also have a 200% crypto deposit bonus, fast and easy deposit and withdrawal process, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days a year, live wagering on all major games, best betting variety in the business. You guys can even get a 10% back on your net losses 2 times a year. 2 times a year. You can't find that on any other sports book. Not to mention that BetUS can even give you your very own personalized account manager. You guys want to support us here on Patriots Roundtable. You guys want to support us here at Roundtable Sports. Best way of doing so is supporting the sponsors that support the channel. Link in the description box below. We're even going to pin it here in the chat for you guys too. And Jace, real quick, I want to get your thoughts here. This is, of course, via BetUS on their website. We talked about this a lot. We haven't heard your thoughts yet, though. Right now, the divisional odds, according to BetUS, Buffalo Bills plus 170. In second place is the Jets at plus 180. Third place is the Miami Dolphins at plus 200. And the New England Patriots, fourth place, which isn't necessarily an issue. The problem is that they are plus 2,500. What are your thoughts on this?
Sorry, I was muted while you read that. My first thoughts is that I'm throwing $100 down on the Patriots, not because I believe that they're going to win the division, but because if everything turns out and Drake Maye has a CJ Stroud type year, there's a possibility. Like I said, that's a long shot, but at plus 2,500 and a rookie quarterback who we say could be really good, and 2 rookie receivers and as good of a defense as the Patriots have, there's a long shot, but there's a shot. So that's the first thing I'm saying. Second thing is, I think it's on par that the Bills are there. I would actually put the Dolphins and the Jets like equal money line. I don't know. I'd probably put them both at plus 200. I have my concerns with the Dolphins. I don't believe in Tua. I know that he destroys us, but I don't believe in Tua winning the division. And I also think that the Jets are so dependent on Aaron Rodgers' health at 40 years old coming off an Achilles. And there's a lot of other problems there that I don't know. So I'd probably put them both there at plus 200, but I agree. The Bills, as long as Josh Allen's here, even with the loss of Stephon Diggs, it's probably one of the most likely bets to win the division in any conference. So I don't know. I could see either of these 2 teams coming in second. I don't know if I would put a bet on either of them to win the division, because I think this is the Bills' division to lose still.
Yeah, plus 2,500 odds is absurd when you look at the next closest, which again is the Dolphins at plus 200. And there's a Dolphins fan in here saying, yeah, more like 3,000. Tell me you don't know the state of the New England Patriots without telling me you don't know the state of the New England Patriots. Any fan telling me that the Patriots will be worse than last year, you just don't know football. You literally just know what your daddy screams on the couch every single Sunday. And that's all you know, especially Dolphins fans who y'all took a step back. Your defense got significantly worse. It's filled with a bunch of veterans that were good, 4 or 5 years ago. And we know that the Dolphins, they also cannot win a game come December, the second half of the season. The truth of the fact is that you guys fall off, not to mention the fact that your record over the last 2 years against teams that are over 500 is 2-8. You guys cannot beat good teams. I don't know why you guys are talking. That's just the truth.
I mean, and the other thing is it could be plus $100 for the Bills, or sorry, it could be plus 1,000 for the Jets or Dolphins, both of them to win a playoff game. I still wouldn't take that because I know that shit ain't ever going to happen. Longest drought in the NFL from winning a playoff game. So that's okay. That's fine.
My favorite thing, too, about Dolphins fans is LMAO, yeah, you're wrong. Okay, tell me how I'm wrong. I just cooked you. I gave you facts. I gave you statistics. If you're going to tell me I'm wrong, you better be able to back up exactly why I'm wrong, because saying that I'm wrong and that's just it, that's your argument, that does nothing. That's like a kindergartner saying, I'm not stupid, you're stupid. Oh, okay.
I'm not dumb, you're dumb.
I'm not dumb, you're dumb. Oh.
It's like the scene from The Grinch when he yells, "You're an idiot," or "I'm an idiot," because he thinks the echo's going to yell back, and then the echo yells back, "You're an idiot." Okay, man.
It's going to be funny when one of two things happens. One, the Dolphins don't make the playoffs, or two, the Dolphins make the playoffs and they're a first-round exit right away.
Yeah, for sure. So a nice little third down batted pass there. I forget what his name is. His last name was Hall. What's his first name? I mean, they don't release the whole depth chart. They just release the 4 deep. So most of these guys that are getting in right now, it was Tristan Hill. That's who it was. Hill. Sorry, Tristan Hill. So Tristan Hill gets a PBU right there on the 3rd and 2. So now you have the Patriots coming back out on offense once you get this break from the commercials. But no, for sure. It's
real quick.
It's hard.
I gotta say one more thing to the Dolphins fans saying past 2 years Tua beat Herbert, Allen, Lamar, and Dak at least once. Good job. Good job. You don't have the same defense. Tua didn't beat them. Your defense beat them. You don't have the same defense. And by the way, you beating good quarterbacks doesn't mean jack. The Patriots didn't look good in 2018, still went to the Super Bowl and won Super Bowl 53. I don't care if you're able to beat good quarterbacks. That doesn't make you a good team, being able to beat a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Good job. By the way, good job. You beat good quarterbacks in the first half of the season. You didn't beat good quarterbacks when it mattered the most.
All it takes is 30-degree weather in Kansas City, and you guys shrivel up. So
I'm just saying.
We got a couple interesting things in here. S27, do you guys think Maye compares to Herbert at all? And do you think Justin Herbert is good? I am a big Justin Herbert fan. I think Herbert is a top 7 quarterback in the NFL. I mean, I would maybe even say 5. I would probably go Lamar, Josh Allen, obviously Patrick Mahomes. I think CJ Stroud's up there. I think I would put Herbert above CJ Stroud. I think I'd put Herbert above Jalen Hurts. I think Herbert's good enough to win a team a Super Bowl. And I think that if Drake Maye reaches his potential, he has the arm talent. He had the same flaws coming out of college as Justin Herbert did. Same with Josh Allen. Drake Maye can run the ball like Josh Allen could. And I'm just saying that's best case scenario, but the similarities are so close. It's like, hey, we saw this in Josh Allen and look at what he developed into. If everything goes right for Drake Maye, that's what he can develop into. So
yeah, I really like Justin Herbert too. I feel like he hasn't been put in a good situation. So, I mean, even for people trying to say I beat a good quarterback in Justin Herbert last year, it's more than just beating a good quarterback. You have to understand the team that's also built around that player. That's like people who try to say, oh, well, Nick Foles beat Tom Brady and Nick Foles owns Tom Brady. Tom Brady set Super Bowl records in Super Bowl 52 and still lost that game. It had nothing to do with the quarterback. It had to do with the team that was built around the quarterback. And by the way, to the guy saying, Colby, why do you praise the Bills? They got nothing. I don't praise the Bills. I respect the Bills. And why? Because despite the adversity that the Bills have had to go through, they still make the playoffs every year. They still win the division every year, and they actually win playoff games. They're not just talk. By the way, Bills fans are also, like, surprisingly, for a team that's been able to win the division year after year and has the right to talk smack, they have shown the most respect year after year. If you want respect, you got to show respect, right? That's kind of like why, Dolphins fans are always talking crap about the Patriots, always in here talking crap and trolling, but then you want me to respect your team. It's like, you're doing it to yourself, right? Bills fans are respectful. They respect New England. Therefore, I'm able to respect them back.
For sure. I mean, you got Scott in here saying that, where is it? Where did he just go? Patriots fans are such a joke. They got carried by Brady for years, and now they won't see a playoff game for a decade. That's funny. You went to the playoffs in 2021 with a rookie Mac Jones. So good shit, man. Maybe you should learn your stuff.
Longest drought. Dolphins fans have the longest drought in the entire National Football League without a playoff win. Without a playoff win. We got carried by Brady. You could say that for any team. From some of the greatest franchises in the NFL. Yeah, they got carried by their best player. No freaking duh. That's the stupidest argument. I guarantee you, I put my money down. The New England Patriots are going to go to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl before the Dolphins are going to. I can promise you that. Because you guys fall off when it matters most. I'm not trying to even be disrespectful. What I'm saying is a fact. Dolphins fans, your team falls off the second half of the season. You can't win games when it matters the most. And to the person who earlier said, we beat Lamar Jackson. Yeah, but when it mattered the most last season in December, you got creamed by Lamar Jackson. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is there's a Dolphins fan in here saying that, where is it? Mayo has no experience coaching, replacing the best coach of all time with a roster with minimum talent, but you're worried about the Dolphins' problems. Well, I think that it's a little more concerning that Mike McDaniel was just a guy that had followed around a bunch of other coaches. And yeah, he was in one of the best offensive systems under Kyle Shanahan's tutelage. But you guys gave him a chance and it seemed to work out for you. So don't come shit on Patriots fans because we had to hire a coach once the greatest coach of all time left and he has no experience. You guys just did it 4 years ago and it worked out for you guys. So, I mean, obviously Mike McDaniel's a better coach. I'm not saying he's not, but like you guys hired an inexperienced coach too. Who was it? D'Amico Ryans for the Texans hired an inexperienced coach last year and he led them to the playoffs. So
here's the thing too. You're coming in here saying that we're worried about the Dolphins' problems. No, we're not. You came in here talking about the Patriots' problems, saying the Patriots are this, the Patriots are that, the Patriots suck. You're saying false things about the Patriots. You're the one who's clearly worried about New England. I'm not worried about the Dolphins. I'm just setting a factual record straight because at the end of the day, I don't care if we beat the Dolphins. If you guys beat us twice, I really don't care what happens because we know we're not going to be good this upcoming season. And at the end of the day, too, it's funny that Dolphins fans just like y'all are, and it's not all Dolphins fans because there's some good ones out there, but it's the ones in the chat right now. You're making your own narrative because last season you're saying Belichick sucks. Belichick's a terrible coach. But when the narrative's good for you, you're coming back and you're saying you guys just lost the greatest coach of all time. How are you going to come back from it? Belichick didn't coach the last 2 years the way that he used to coach. Okay. It's because of Belichick's general manager or being a general manager and the way that he's been coaching and his ego over the last 2 years that have put the Patriots in the status they are. Moving on from Belichick, as unfortunate and as much as it sucks, was the right thing for the Patriots to do.
For sure. So, I mean, I hate being on a podcast arguing with unintelligent other fans. I mean, someone saying that we think that Drake Maye can become Josh Allen is pure comedy when literally every other NFL analyst.
That's what the professionals are saying. We're not saying that.
That's what's funny is the pro comps give him Josh Allen, but then every casual fan that just listens to random shit says it's Daniel Jones or Mitchell Trubisky because he went to North Carolina. So that's fine. I get it, guys. The Patriots are not going to be good this year. But it doesn't matter. There's someone in here also saying, oh, you can shit talk. You guys lose to us all the time every year. Who gives a shit? For the last 20 years, we had 6 Super Bowls. We went to 9 of them. So boo-hoo. Yeah, we've sucked for 3 years. You guys are just grinning because we finally suck. Brady whooped your guys' ass for a couple of years, so it's fine. I mean, I don't want to sit here and argue. I'm here to talk about the Patriots and stuff, but when you guys want to come at us when we're literally the greatest franchise in the NFL and we've had 3 down years, it's real funny, man, because now you guys don't.
They're saying how much we suck, but Jace, they're saying how much we suck, and that's the funny part. They're saying how much we suck, but they're taking victory laps around beating us. So which one is it? You shouldn't take victory laps around beating a bad team, but you're taking the victory laps, which means you must be proud that you're beating the Patriots. And why are you proud that you're beating the Patriots? Because they're the most successful franchise of all time. And they ruined your childhood. Sure. That's just the truth. Anyway, let's get back here into this live play-by-play.
True Memorabilia asked, does his son still coach? So Brian Belichick is still on the defensive side. His son, Steve, is the defensive coordinator for the Washington Huskies. He followed Jed Fish there, which Jed Fish was a coach for the Patriots a couple years ago. Then he went to the University of Arizona. Now he's at Washington. So, yeah, I mean, there's really only one Belichick still on staff. And Steve said he kind of maybe thought about staying a little bit, but then, he thought about not. So there is a Belichick still on staff, but not there. So
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, too, like the Belichicks aren't the most important pieces. Steve Belichick was good at the end of the day. Yeah. Having Brian Belichick kind of working here still with the defense, I think is definitely going to have its positive upsides. But having DeMarcus Covington, having Mike Pellegrino here, I think those guys are the more important piece in the coaching staff to the defense.
For sure. So, deep ball target to Javon Baker. Looks like he had him for a minute. He ran by him, and
we still got Bailey Zappe here.
5-yard underthrow by Bailey Zappe.
Second straight drive. A little bit under pressure, and it looks like first target, at least from what I've seen for two, Javon Baker brings up a 3rd and 5. Jace, let's be honest. Here we're going to see a screenplay because that's what the Patriots love to do on a 3rd and 5. Let's see what happened here with Javon Baker. Kind of just the ball put out in front of him a little bit and just wasn't able to reel it in.
David, it is currently the second quarter with 11:20 left. That's the Patriots just punted on mine, and I might be a little bit ahead of you. So
they just punted on yours. Mine's going deep right now. Yeah, see, this was Javon Baker. This was going deep for Javon Baker right now, and Bailey Zappe just with a terrible underthrow. By the way, Kaden Wallace, we do have out there, so it's good to at least see him. But that's kind of telling me he is still being viewed with the second-team offensive line. So, I mean, I don't know. He's working with the first-team offensive line. He's the 3rd-round pick for the Patriots. Are they not going to roll him with the first-team offensive line this upcoming season? Because based off of what we're seeing recently, that's not the case.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting. He got some time with the ones. Obviously didn't perform enough to stay there for preseason game 1, but you got joint practices against the Eagles, who's going to be one of the best defensive lines in the game. So he'll have an opportunity to prove it there. And then obviously he still has 2 more preseason games. So we'll see. Obviously did not have enough of a showing in the first week or 2 of camp. But S27 says, PG Jace, how would you feel about a dome? I like it because I hate all this garbage New England weather affecting our play. I think that I mean, you have an opportunity to use it as to your advantage, right? Because when warm weather teams do come in, it's obviously a huge advantage in the playoffs if you can get used to it. When you have, teams coming from the West Coast or something, like AFC teams, the Chargers who play in there, when they come here, they might not be so used to it. So there's an advantage to it. I mean, obviously you just wish every game was there, good conditions. But the other thing is one team plays in it, another team has to play in it. It doesn't really give any team an advantage unless you're used to it. So it honestly should be to the Patriots' advantage, in my opinion. So
got another flag here.
It looks like a holding. The right guard kind of tackled the defensive
Carolina.
Tackle. Yeah, it'll be a holding on Carolina. So
this is why, man, preseason games are so rough. I mean, second quarter and it's still scoreless game,
and like no one has gotten close. Patriots had an opportunity, but so
yeah, I mean, Patriots were close, and then the same thing that happened last year happened. Like you mentioned, you have what was it? It was like a false start or two, and then Bailey Zappe intentional grounding puts them back even more. And the thing is, like, we need to see what we have in these kickers. We need to see this kicker competition in a live game. Yes. We didn't see Chad Ryland kick pretty much at all in his rookie preseason, which is probably a big reason the Patriots didn't know they needed a better kicker till later on.
Probably.
Great play here by, who is this? 34 by the Patriots. Del Pettis, the UDFA safety. He is a player to watch, Jason. I don't know how much you've looked into him. He has probably been the Patriots' best UDFA in practice so far. I know that they kind of already have a stacked safety room, but they could definitely use some depth. And if there's any UDFA making it, it's Del Pitas, who made a really, really good coverage play tackling the ball carrier there behind the line of scrimmage. So definitely something to watch.
Yeah, for sure. There was a question up here. Blued says, who's the Patriots quarterback threes? The depth chart that came out today had Jacoby Brissett at 1, Drake Maye at 2, Zappe at 3, and Joe Milton as the 4th one. So if you haven't been tuned in the whole time or you haven't been watching the game, Jacoby Brissett took a drive. It was 4 and out. I mean, they got a first down on a run play, and then they went 3 and out after that. So 4 plays, and then Drake Maye went in for 5, and he's been out since. So we've only seen 2 drives from our 1 and 2. They each got a drive each, and then we have had 2 drives from Bailey Zappe. So,
bro, Dolphins fans are so pressed. They're still going on.
I know.
Like, there's people still commenting about it. By the way, to the person who said, what's Belichick's record against Tua? Belichick's not here, so I don't really know why that matters. So
that's fine. They're just.
This is fun, man. This is funny.
Oh my gosh. You'll see it here in a minute. I feel like I should pause and wait for you. Where are you at?
Right now, I'm at a 3rd and 15. I'm assuming that's the play you're talking about.
Yes. I'll let you.
Oh, who was that by? Oh, Sean Wade. Sean Wade, who, by the way, just got off with that red non-contact jersey. So he's finally getting back into the mix. I've seen, I think it was either Mike Reese or Evan Lazar who tweeted out today that Sean Wade is a roster lock for them. He isn't for me, but if he can make a few plays here in the preseason, he just might be with that inside-outside versatility and some, some ability to play deep there also.
Yeah. DTN, you can get at him in the comments. We don't need to bring it up. But yeah, when the hell's the last time the Dolphins won a playoff game? When's the last time they won a Super Bowl? So congrats. Keep celebrating our 3 years of bad play. So Rob asks, what is the ceiling for Brissett this year?
Ooh, what are we talking about in terms of ceiling? And hold up. You see the return here?
Yeah, almost got a kick return. Punt return, I should say.
Who was that? I think that was another UDFA first. Was that who? Wallace?
30.
Walls? I believe, if I remember correctly, he played with Drake Maye at one point.
Okay.
He's not gonna make the roster, but the practice squad, I'm just saying Julian Edelman started that, and I'm not saying after one return he's turned into Julian Edelman. I'm just saying that keep in mind too. Starting off slow, starting on the practice squad doesn't mean you can't turn into a starter at some point. And KJ Osborne and DeMario Douglas over there giving him his props. Gerard Mayo goes over and even gives him a handshake, gives him his props, kind of talking and giving him some notes there. But first donation of the chat today, Awesome LA says, Colby is right. All Dolphins fans don't deserve respect for how cocky their team is trash talking every fan base. And they ask why no one respects us. Look, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful to Dolphins fans. Look, trash talk now and then, but that's not my forte. I don't love to come in here trash talk. I don't like to talk unrealistic, but Dolphins fans, y'all are even still here talking about it, making it personal for no reason. It doesn't matter. People are going to have different thoughts about your team and whatnot, but if you want respect for your own team, you got to learn to respect, the other teams also. And look, at the end of the day, you want to say that Patriots fans are delusional for thinking that there is potential for them to get back on track with this young team, but it's just as delusional for you to say that they're in the basement and not going to do crap for the next 10 years. Nobody knows what the Patriots are going to be. They're young. It's a new head coach. It's a new quarterback. It's 2 new rookie receivers. Quite literally, nobody knows what the future of this team is going to be. So you can't say that Patriots fans are delusional for thinking there's hope, but then on the back end say that you're going to suck for the next 10 years. It's just, it's contradicting, man. That's all. All love though. All love.
Third and 10 now. 2 bad plays by Zappe. I mean, there was pressure on both of them. So getting rid of the ball was kind of a drop by Wilcox on a route.
And just
Davon Baker getting
one thing too to Brandon. I just want to say, me and Jace are getting paid to do what we love. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
What a play by Kayshon Boutte. Goes up, stays on his feet, bro, right there to a touchdown. Kayshon Boutte needed that play right there, dude.
That's good.
I don't know about you,
that's
but
a good sign.
I have Kayshon Boutte on my roster.
Yeah, I do too. I think that what he's done in camp, what he can prove here, I think that he has a uphill, or sorry, Juju Smith has Schuster has an uphill battle. Kayshon Boutte's probably passing him right now. Tyquan Thornton's also had a good camp. So you're looking at a couple young guys that are kind of starting to perform a little bit more.
And I mean, look, at the end of the day, the defender obviously should have made a little bit of a better play on that, kind of just mistimed it. But still, the concentration by Kayshon Boutte to make that catch, the concentration required to make that catch, absolutely unbelievable. The balance of him to stay on his feet and really get close, just a few yards away from being able to punch that in for a touchdown. I mean, Kayshon Boutte, he's been a little inconsistent. I mean, even this time last year in his rookie offseason, inconsistencies, kind of the same thing here this offseason, but so much potential there to where if you can get him to just start being more consistent, you have something with Kayshon Boutte.
There we go. Kevin Harris touchdown
in the end zone. Kevin Harris in for the touchdown, and the Patriots go up 6-0. Jace, this is where one of the biggest questions are going to come in, and that is, first off, who's the kicker that they put out there? Is it Chad Ryland? Is it Joey Slye? Because that should at least dictate who is currently the number one kicker, at least right now, on their minds. But also, we need to see as many kicks, as many extra points, as many field goals from these kickers as possible throughout 3 preseason games to know how these kickers are going to act in a live game and not how they're going to react in a training camp practice against their own team. So this is something to watch up.
Looks like it's Ryland.
The extra point is. Look, yeah, it is Chad Ryland for me too. Is he going to get it through? And he puts it right up the middle. That's exactly what you want to see. Patriots go up 7-0.
There you go.
This
First point
I mean,
set up by a really good kick return, or punt return, I should say.
Yeah, it happened because of the punt return, and then after that, a great Kayshon Boutte catch. And I mean, honestly, the exact way Belichick wanted to win last year, right? I mean, great defense that held the opposing team to 0 points, good special teams, and asked the offense to not do much.
So as of right now, their one scoring drive started off of a good punt return. They had an opportunity to score on another drive when they started at the 50. It was like the 49, the minus 49. They had a couple good positive plays, a couple catches by Polk, and then they get that pre-snap penalty, they get a holding, and then they get the intentional grounding. So they've played that style of Patriots or defense, right? Where, hey, let's not give them anything. Let's give the offense the ball in really good plus territory. The offense they've done good one-time scoring. They had that pass to Boutte, and then they punch it in with Kevin Harris, and the other time they have pre-snap penalties. So, I mean, yeah, the defense is going to be a huge part of where this is going to be, or where this team's going to finish this year. They're going to be one of the top 10, if not top 5 defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, as long as they can stay healthy. As long as they can stay healthy, which has kind of been a little scary for them already this offseason, then I don't see why this defense easily will not be top 10 with potential of even, like you said, being top 5. So, look, I mean, you hope that the blueprint for the Patriots this year isn't the same blueprint as last year. Like we mentioned earlier, play stout defense, rely on your defense to keep you in games, and then, ask your offense to do virtually nothing and ask your, special teams to also help you make some plays there. I think we're hoping that the offense is going to be able to do a little bit more this upcoming season with a little bit more consistency. And, look, we're not asking to be above average or elite. We're just asking for an average offense. And look, if you even have the Patriots offense last year playing average, they win another 5-6 games. So again, the blueprint is there for the Patriots. You just hope that it's a little bit re-advised for the upcoming season, and then the execution is much better.
For sure. So we got Alfredo Drake Maye played one drive, got 4 plays, I believe it was, through a screen pass to Antonio Gibson for a first down. Actually, he got more than 4 plays. Sorry, he threw a screen pass on 3rd and 14 to Antonio Gibson, then had a little bit of a high pass to, who was it? I believe it was Jalen Polk. It was the target on the comeback. No, it was Rager. But anyways, and then Cole, Patriots Drive, who I do the other podcast with, says, get Zappe out of the game. What's the point? At least put Milton in. I agree. I at least want to see someone that could air the ball out. So, but this is another thing I want to talk about with you, Colby, and Patriots fans in here. This is kind of the first time we're seeing the new kickoff rule, at least from the Patriots. We saw it in preseason game 1 against the Steelers and then when they were Hall of Fame game. But what are your thoughts on the new kickoff rule? Obviously, you have to land it within the 20 or the 10. You can't start running until the returner catches the ball. So what are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I think it's not going to have the impact that they ultimately thought that it was going to, because you're going from, what is it, the 30-yard line now? I mean, you're going from the 20 to the 30. Like, it's not that big of a difference where I think teams are going to say, you know what? We don't want them to return the ball. You know what I'm saying? So, because the rule is if you kick it back in the end zone, your team's starting at the 30s.
Yeah.
Or at the 30 rather. So it's a 5-yard difference from what a touchback was before. I don't think a 5-yard difference is going to scare teams away. I think it's going to have to be re-advised. I don't know if it's going to be re-advised this upcoming season, like mid-season things are getting changed, or if they're just going to wait till the season's over and then redo it. But I think they're going to have to put it, bro, at like the 40-yard line, 45-yard line. And that's how you're going to get more returns, because adding 5 yards to what the touchback rule already was, I don't think it's scaring teams enough. At least from what we've seen in the preseason so far, it's not affecting teams that much.
Yeah. So any kick that is short of the landing zone is spotted at the 40. If it's kicked in the landing zone, it must be returned. So no fair catches or anything. Any kick that hits in the landing zone, then goes into the end zone, must be returned or downed by the receiving team. If down, then the touchback's the 20. So that's actually 5 yards less than what it normally was last year. Kicks hit in the end zone, stays in bounds. It has to be returned or downed. If not, it goes to the 30. Any kick that goes out of the back of the end zone in the air or bounces is at the 30. So I agree. I feel like the penalty maybe should have been a little bit, if they really want to invoke, and I think that the reason they did this is obviously to take away the high impact plays that they're doing there, and the speed that players are getting as they're running down the field. But I feel like the penalty isn't as much. They were saying that the average starting position last year was like the 26-yard line and stuff for the kickoff return. So it's probably not going to affect it too much. It's really just for the safety of the game. So the other thing I'm interested in, you're not going to see much here. You're probably just going to see most guys go block the guy that's in front of them, but I'm really excited to see what the scheme is going to be for most of these teams, because I want to see how creative they get. You could obviously fake one way and the other kickoff thing. You could start going to the right, run a break left. You could do a lot more blocking schemes, but now with everyone starting at the same line, it's going to be interesting to see, do they double a guy? Do they leave a guy open and just try to outrun him to the left or right-hand side? So I'm interested to see, once the season gets going, what some of these special teams coordinators start to bring.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. Let's see. And throw under pressure, and they're able to still make it, just totally not covering. Who was that? Number 8? Number 81?
80.
I'm not sure what the play was supposed to be there. Who the hell in the Patriots defense was covering? But 1st and 10 pickup for the Panthers. Just picked up about 28 yards on that play.
Oh, they picked each other. The two players, the two defenders got picked in mesh. Shallow crossers.
It looks like it was Del Pettis who was supposed to have 81, but just ran into another Patriots defender.
Oh, that's a fumble. Get that. That's a fumble. Yeah, that's a fumble. No, yeah.
What is he doing?
They're gonna rule incomplete because he pitched it forward. They're gonna rule it, but that was really dumb by him.
What kind of play is that, bro?
Yeah, it should be intentional grounding, though. It should be intentional grounding.
You're doing.
Yeah,
he just tossed that thing.
Yeah.
Did he not lose the ball behind the line of scrimmage?
He did, but because he was flicking it forward, it's going to be considered a forward pass, and so it's going to be an incomplete. But they will get a loss of down and a penalty because of the intentional grounding. So, I mean, at least it's not just a true incomplete pass.
This is the thing about preseason games, is they can be so painful to watch because it's just a bunch of guys who clearly are not going to be in the league in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping at least you got a half of Drake Maye. I mean, I'm absolutely shocked and just dumbfounded that he played one drive. Like, I get it. He's shown flashes in camp. He's also had his struggles. So why not throw him out there and give him 3 or 4 drives? Why not? He also hasn't repped a ton with the one. So why not get him some reps with some of those guys? So I'm a little shocked there. It makes me a little concerned. I'm sure he'll play a little bit more in the next couple preseason games, but it also makes me, that's a fumble right there. But they're not going to get it.
Was it on 16 yet again?
Yep.
He should have had better ball security there, but I mean, that just kind of came around the edge. But they recovered it. So
Tristan Hill,
who's been working with the Patriots starting defensive line as of late because of the injuries that the Patriots have been kind of suffering throughout training camp on this defensive line. I mean, Tristan Hill fighting for a roster spot, rolling with the starters, like I mentioned, as of late. This is a play he needed if he's going to push to make the final roster.
Yeah, and this is really good for the Patriots defense because after that long pass on the breakdown and mesh, they had a chance to score. They were in scoring position, at least field goal position, but now they're 3rd and 34. They're at the negative 37 yard line or 47. So they actually pushed them out. And now Tristan Hill almost sniffed out a screen pass, but they're going to get about 6 yards on that play.
He could have, Tristan Hill could have used that play too. I mean, you get back-to-back plays there. I mean, a strip sack and then a play behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, we're talking about him, if he can keep it up the next 2 weeks, being a lot for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Especially because I feel like with these edge rushers, I mean, like, you have Judon, and that situation's kind of up there. You have Dietrich Wise, who I don't know about you, but I don't consider Dietrich Wise just a defensive end. I call him a defensive lineman because he plays a lot in the interior of the D-line. He plays on the outside. Like, he does so many different things. Keon White, who's going to be more of an edge rusher. He played a lot inside last year, though, too, so you never know. From what's been said, though, they want to play him more specifically at edge rusher. So, I mean, Josh Uche there, too, but there's not too many edge rushers for the Patriots that I would say are locks to where, I mean, Tristan Hill, he continues to play like this, could definitely be a rotational player.
Well, especially depending on what the injury is with Christian Barmore. Like we still haven't gotten a time frame for that. So if that's a year-long thing like it was for David Andrews, yeah, that could be a roster spot that's opening up right there for a guy like Tristan Hill who's made a couple plays early in this game.
Which really sucks too, man. I mean, Christian Barmore, he signed this a massive contract extension this offseason, the largest contract not named Tom Brady in Patriots franchise history, and then just, goes down with something that you couldn't have seen coming. And things could have been worse. So you're glad that the Patriots caught it and their training staff was able to catch it ultimately when they did. It's just this is one of those injuries where it's not a physical injury. It's kind of like a health injury, like it's a health scare. And so you never know how he's going to come back or how he's going to kind of respond to the treatment that he's getting. With blood clots, where is it? Everybody's immediately saying, well, David Andrews had this and David Andrews was out for the season. But that's not how that works. Blood clots can happen in different places, and it's how do people respond. David Andrews had blood clots in his lungs. That's one of the worst places that you could have blood clots. I mean, a lot of times, I mean, I know people who had blood clots in their lungs before and had to get, their one lung removed. So it can be a very serious thing. But if he has it in like his leg, then it's something that's not as serious, to where Christian Barmore could be back in 2 months, depending on where it is. Christian Barmore could be out the entire year. We just don't know. And that's what sucks about not knowing where it is.
Yeah. Brandon, you guys think Milton uncorks 1 bombs away in this one? Gosh, I hope so. Even if it's 50 yards out of reach of anyone, just show us on TV, not in practice, how freaking far he can throw the ball, because it's better than watching Bailey Zappe dink and dunk right here.
Yeah, and Devin McCourty also just said that we will be seeing Joe Milton in the second half, so that it's at least confirmed.
Yeah.
Did he just get that pass to who was that? Wilcox?
Oh my gosh, maybe he did catch that.
He sandwiched that ball between some defenders there. Oh, he got that. Wilcox got that.
Yeah, can't tell.
That is crazy concentration. For a tight end to get that low to the ground and concentrate like that, that's wild. And by the way, Wilcox, mainly a blocking tight end coming from the Cincinnati Bengals last year. I mean, Patriots signed him in free agency. He's someone who's rolled with the starters, but he's kind of working more so with Drake Maye, dropping all these passes. Makes a really good catch there, though.
For sure. So 2-minute warning. Patriots up 7-0 still. Bailey Zappe in at quarterback. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I was hoping that we got a little bit more Drake Maye, and so it's a little disappointing, but I don't know. Maybe we'll wrap it up after this. We have already been live for almost an hour and a half, but
yeah,
I mean, hopefully it can go down. Let's see how they operate this 2-minute drill, right? I mean, this is a big thing here. How's Alex Van Pelt call it? They should have all 3 of their timeouts, so they're going to have a legit chance at the 2-minute drill. And we all know when the Patriots were really freaking good, they would love to score, and then they got the ball back after halftime, which they have an opportunity to do right here. So we'll see how they operate this 2-minute drill.
See, kind of go back to this conversation here.
I'm interested to see what the questions are, hey, why Drake Maye only, or what the answers are, I guess, for Gerard Mayo. Hey, why Drake Maye only play a quarter or a series? What was the point of that? Is it, we've seen enough? I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like it's going to be one of those, we didn't want these guys, to get, injured and blah, 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 this, that, and the third. But it's just like he's rolling with the second team offense right now. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not giving him the opportunity to actually be the starting quarterback and work with the starting team offense. But then they're also not giving him the time to develop in the preseason.
For sure.
So it's like, what are we? I don't know. Some of the things that I feel like this team has done so far this offseason throughout training camp and so far throughout this preseason game is just a little bit questionable. What they're doing with Drake Maye, I just don't necessarily agree with it. With what they're doing, with the offensive line in training camp too. I mean, Kaden Wallace going from left tackle to right tackle to starting team offensive line to the second team offensive line to even going back to Drake Maye and him working, with receivers who might not even be on the roster. Like, why are we not letting him work and develop with Demario Douglas, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker on a regular basis? This is your third overall pick, someone who's going to be your future. And I know Jacoby Brissett's a starting quarterback. He's going to be the one who determines your success this upcoming season. But as a Patriots fan, and Jace, you can let me know if you feel the same way or not about this, but as a Patriots fan, we're not really worried about this upcoming season. What we are worried about is the future. We know we're not going to be competitive this year. We're not expecting to be competitive. What we want to see is development from these young guys, hit the ground running in 2025 to start being competitive and maybe make a run for the playoffs.
I totally agree with you. And I think I stand on this. We haven't done a video where we're going to predict, the Patriots schedule. I think that 7 wins is best case scenario for this team. And that would be crazy. I think that they finish with I'm wrong. I think that 6 or 7 wins is where they're going to land. I think 9 is best case scenario. I think they're going to get 5, 6, 7 wins. They're going to be around the 10th overall pick in the draft. They still got to address the offensive line. But like you said, yeah, they're playing for next year. We know that Drake Maye, they're not going to rush him into it unless there's an injury or something. I think that it's going to be, hey, we're going to ease him in, and maybe it's by week 10, maybe it's by week 12, maybe it's not till week 1 of 2025, but we're going to let the young receivers develop. We're going to figure out the offensive line. Defense is obviously going to be stellar, but no, this is not us being delusional and saying the Patriots are going to be a 10-win team and go to the playoffs. I fully expect them to be 5, 6 wins for this year.
Yeah, and my boy King Jamie the Mad, who is a massive supporter here at Roundtable Sports in the AFC East Roundtable, who is a Chiefs fan, which again in itself is crazy how even as much as I don't want to see the Chiefs succeed, just because I hate the comparisons of, oh, well, the Chiefs are the Patriots and Patrick Mahomes is Tom Brady. I hate all of that crap. I think it's too soon to be talking like that, but I can still respect the Chiefs and still respect Chiefs fans, which is wild because I don't know. It's just the teams who you think are the best teams in the league, right? Who are as dominant as they are. You think that they'd be the ones talking the most crap, and they're not. So shout out to King Jamie, man. Appreciate you for being here and supporting us. He said, Colby, who is the guy I need to watch in New England? I've been watching, and I want your input. Who is your best defensive player, and who's our favorite? Jace, I'm going to kick this to you first.
So let's see. Best defensive player is going to be Christian Gonzalez. Obviously, Matt Judon's going to be up there, but we'll see, what happens there. I really think that Christian Gonzalez has an opportunity to be comeback player of the year. Torres Labrum was out for most of the season, had a stellar rookie campaign until he did that. I think he could vault himself into a top 10 corner this year based off of all the skills he has, the intangibles, his speed, things like that. I really do think that Christian Gonzalez is the defensive player to watch. My favorite guy that I'm so excited to watch is going to be Jabril Peppers. I love the way Jabril Peppers plays. The other one I'm excited to watch is Sione Takitaki. We just haven't seen much of him in camp. He was good for the Browns. I think he's going to fit maybe that Mac Wilson role. We just haven't seen much of him. He's been hurt. So my 2 favorites, Jabril Peppers, Sione Takitaki, but I think the best defensive player for the Patriots this year is going to be Christian Gonzalez, no doubt about it.
Yeah, so I would say in my opinion, who I think the best defensive player is going to be this upcoming season, which is kind of more of a projection, is going to be Kyle Duggar, man. I think Kyle Duggar is going to be utilized correctly this upcoming season. I think he's going to have a bounce back year. Love Jabril Peppers. I think he's going to have another good, very dominant season. He's been one of PFF's best and highest graded safeties over the last couple of years. But I think if we can get Kyle Duggar being back to a 2022 version of the Patriots, that's what's going to make this defense even more dominant. And I think that's what they need. Kyle Duggar kind of took a big step back last year, but that's also largely in part of because of how the Patriots and Bill Belichick were utilizing him. So far in training camp, Kyle Duggar looking really, really good. I mean, several interceptions, several pass breakups. He's just making plays on a regular basis, and he's just looking like he could be back to that 2022 version of himself. And if you watched the Patriots defense in 2022, you would know just how dominant that Kyle Duggar was. And I mean, he had multiple pick sixes, and that helped the Patriots win more games, right? Because even in 2022, down the stretch, Patriots offense was struggling, but when your defense is able to make plays, they're able to get pick sixes, that's what's helped the Patriots over the last few years actually find success and end up winning games at the end. I would say my favorite defensive player, though, it's still Matthew Judon, man. It's Matthew Judon. It's really not even close. The situation definitely sucks. I hope they figure it out. You know, I would say he's our best defensive player too, but like, I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen this upcoming season. I kind of wanted to say a name maybe other than Matthew Judon, but when it comes to who is going to be my favorite, like how can you not love Mr. Red Sleeves, always out there playing catch with the fans. Even today was doing the same thing, just out there. He's active within the community. He's active with this fan base, and he's just one hell of a player. And it's just heartbreaking to see what's going on.
Yeah, King Jamie, I will say another one to watch, and it's all depending on his injury situation, is Christian Barmore. That dude just got paid. Yeah. He's a legit interior defensive tackle that's a force in both the pass and the run. If he's healthy at some point in the season, he's going to make waves. So, like, he's going to vault himself into there. So that would be another one for me to watch, depending on if he's healthy. He has blood clots, so we have not gotten a timeline. So, but awesome LA 199 says, is Joe Milton going to play? Colby, you said that Jason or Devin McCourty said that they know he's going to play in the second half.
They sound similar. They look similar, but it seemed like it was Devin McCourty. I think they're both there right now too, but I believe it was Devin McCourty. Yeah, I believe it was Devin McCourty who said that Joe Milton will be playing in the second half. So that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to, because let me tell you, I cannot watch Bailey Zappe for like 3 out of these 4 quarters. You know, let me tell you, we saw enough Bailey Zappe during the regular season. We know what he is at this point. We just don't need to see anymore, I feel like, at this point. So we will see Joe Milton. And obviously, there's those storylines, too, from Colin Cowherd, which is absolute BS. We covered that yesterday on the AFC East Roundtable. Colin Cowherd trying to say that Joe Milton is looking better than Drake Maye. So it's going to be interesting to see just how good he plays in his first preseason game.
For sure. So a couple other comments here I wanted to hit on. Jets fan 2405 says, why are you not paying Judon? They have tons of money. We've had this conversation. A little bit older. He's been hurt the back half of the season. I still think they should pay him. Maybe give him an extent or guaranteed money this year and extend him for one more year. I just worry about extending him for a couple more years and having there be a issue with his age. There's a sack right there by number 53, Christian Ellis. Christian Ellis right there gets a sack for the Patriots. So
Christian
a lot of good pressure.
Real quick, I'll say, too, Christian Ellis has been really good for the Patriots, and he's pretty much a special teamer. He was picked up off of waivers. I want to say it was by the Eagles last year. Like I said, though, core special teamer, but he's been looking good. He's been looking good in training camp, and he's actually looking really, really good in coverage. Like, he might be the Patriots' best coverage linebacker, able to kind of get some pressure there, too. And, Jace, I know that you really like Sione Takitaki, as we see Matthew Judon happy there on the screen after that sack there, but I know you like Sione Takitaki. We don't know when he's going to be ready to play football. I wonder if Christian Ellis comes in and he is that Mack Wilson third down linebacker role until Sione Takitaki comes back, because Ellis, he has the ability to get to the quarterback. He's fast, great coverage ability, everything they wanted out of Mack Wilson. So very, very similar players.
For sure. Totally agree with you on that one.
About the whole Matthew Judon situation, they have a ton of money, but I think it's just the Patriots understand that they're in a rebuild and that it's going to take some time. And Matthew Judon is what, 32 years old? Yeah, 31 years old. So like, he's probably not going to be a part of this team when they do start playing well. And I'm under the assumption of like, hey, just pay the guy. You have the money. He's the face of the franchise right now. He's a core player. And look, at the end of the day, if Drake Maye does end up popping off this season, has a CJ Stroud type like season, you're back into contention sooner than you think. And Matthew Judon is a massive piece to that. Yes, coming off of a season-ending injury, but at the end of the day, we have seen in training camp that he is looking the exact same way that he did even before the injury. He's still coming back equally as dominant. And Honestly, I don't know if the issue between them is coming down to the amount of years on the deal or if the issue is coming down to just like guaranteed money, but it wouldn't surprise me if the issue is the guaranteed money.
I also wonder if they're at all going to make any more free agent signings, whether it's on the offensive line. There's a couple of vets out there that could fill a hole for a year, or give Matt Judon the money now that they know they're probably not going to land Brandon Aiyuk. So, Brandon Aiyuk. So that would be another thing to look out for right there. But Light Gaming, what do you guys think of Drake Maye's first game? I mean, he only threw the ball twice. It's a little underwhelming. I wish I would have played him for a couple more drives. So we'll see.
Yeah, like you said too, because I mean, from what I'm seeing right now on the field, it seems like maybe the weather got better. It doesn't really look like it's raining like it was in the beginning of the game. And in the beginning of the game, we saw Jacoby Brissett, Drake Maye, both maybe have a little bit of issues hanging on to the ball, not fumbling or anything like that, but just the ball placement having some issues because of what the weather was providing for them. It would have been nice to see how they could play maybe when the weather started to slow down here, because that's exactly what's happening for Bailey Zappe, and he's getting the opportunity to actually showcase himself. Can't really take anything away from Drake Maye. Like, he didn't do anything spectacular. He didn't do anything bad. There's just really nothing that you can say about Drake Maye. There's nothing to really analyze because he was only in there for, a few snaps. And I mean, again, like you said, 2 passes and like the rest were just runs. The only true takeaway from me about Drake Maye is conservative. And like we said earlier, that's kind of everything that's been advertised in training camp is running the ball, check downs, not really pushing the ball down the field right now because he's still getting acclimated into the offense and the NFL.
Which is totally fine with me. I mean, I would rather see him be, a little cautious and take what he's given to him than try to force it down the field and throw 2 picks. So, another question I wanted to answer, that it was actually a good question. This will be good to hear your thoughts. That Dolphin fan said, this CD situation might be worth watching. Would you be willing to give him the bag?
How much does he want? I mean, would I rather have CeeDee Lamb or Brandon Aiyuk? Honestly, I think I would rather have CeeDee Lamb at this point, but they were going to give Brandon Aiyuk $32 million, which would tie him for the second highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. So, I mean, if you're going to give that bag to Aiyuk, might as well give that bag to
I would sign CeeDee Lamb. I would trade for CeeDee Lamb and sign him to Justin Jefferson deal right now. He's 25 years old. I would give him the $35 million a year like Justin Jefferson. I think that he's going to be a top 3 receiver in the NFL for the next 3 to 4 years. If that was a legitimate opportunity, I would do that. The other thing I would do, and this might sound crazy, and I probably wouldn't do a 2025, but I wouldn't have given up a first-round pick for Brandon Aiyuk, but I would give up a 2026 first-round pick for CeeDee Lamb. Because you say you bring CeeDee Lamb in, then Drake Maye's good. That 2026 first-round pick could be in the 20s. It's not going to be top 10 like you expect your 2025 to be. So if that was a legit option, I would do it. I think CeeDee Lamb is head and heels better than Brandon Aiyuk, and you're already going to give Brandon Aiyuk $32 million a year. So I would give, if he wants to be the highest paid receiver, as long as it's not $40 million a year, I'd tie him with Justin Jefferson's contract. That's how good I think
it has that inside outside versatility too. So they're not really held bent against, we already have Javon Baker and Jalen Polk and all these guys to play on the outside. So what do we do? It's kind of like T. Higgins, where T. Higgins has some, inside versatility, but he's mainly that big outside X receiver. Patriots have kind of fulfilled that need this offseason. And that was the thing about Brandon Aiyuk, is that he can play on the outside. He can play on the inside. You can put him anywhere you need, which kind of expands his opportunity. And I think you can definitely do that same thing there with CeeDee Lamb. It's going to be interesting, that situation, because Jerry Jones, I feel like from what I've heard, doesn't want to get back into that quarterback carousel, but there's going to be absolutely no way that they can keep Parsons, they can keep CeeDee Lamb, and they can also keep Dak Prescott. So you got to imagine at least one of those guys is going to be out the door. And what do they want to do? Do they want to pay CeeDee Lamb and Parsons and then let Dak go? Or do they want to keep the quarterback who, he's not top 5. He struggles in the postseason, but I would say he's probably like top 10, top 12. It's going to depend. But I feel like Jerry Jones is a guy who always lets his emotions get in the way of the smart football decisions.
Yeah, Pages almost had a safety right there. 93. His name begins with an X, or ends in an X.
Shane Zimenez.
Yeah, that's who it is. He almost had a safety there. It's 40 seconds left. He could have used
that, man.
Oh, he had him in his grasp too. Just let him get out. So that would have been a safety right there. Correctly. So,
and Zimenez is another guy throughout training camp who has looked really, really good off of the edge. He's another guy who can make this roster for the Pats.
For sure. For sure. I would take a timeout right here. You got 34 seconds and they threw the ball, so it stopped the clock. See if you can get a chance, but I don't know if they will. They're going to let it go down to halftime. So, but no, I mean, anything. Michelle asked this twice. We'll answer this one. She said, how many touchdowns do you think Javon Baker will have this season?
Yeah, for sure. And real quick here too by King James again says, cool. Thanks so much, fellas. Been watching the camp and I know the boys aren't going full bore, but they ain't looking as bad as they look on paper. Blood clots killed my Derek Thomas. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, the Patriots are figuring a lot of things out. I think a lot of people are going to kind of, they're going to look into a lot of these storylines and make it a bigger thing than it is. It's a bunch of new players. It's a bunch of young players. It's the second youngest head coach in the National Football League who's coaching for his first time. Like, you're naturally going to have growing pains when you are a young team. This isn't like it was the 2018 Patriots when they were like the oldest team in the NFL. And if they were struggling, yeah, that's something to take away. But when you're a very young team struggling, that's what's supposed to happen. It doesn't dictate what the future means.
For sure. So, Michelle, to answer your question, I think Javon Baker is going to end somewhere in the 5 touchdown range. I don't think he's going to approach double digits, but, you know, I think he's going to have an opportunity to be a red zone threat. He's really good at the 50-50 balls. So is Jalen Polk. It all depends on how much he's on the field, but I could see him ending with 5. That would be my guess.
Yeah, 100%. Now, Jace, what do you want to do here? We just hit halftime.
I don't know. I'm so butthurt. And I mean, Pat's Nation says, my God, what a clown show. I mean, it's not the best football. We're already down to a lot of our young guys. We have seen Kayshon Boutte still out there. We have seen Jalen Polk still out there, Baker. So there's a couple guys. I mean, obviously I'm going to go watch the second half, but I don't know, man. I'm a little butthurt. They pulled Drake Maye so early. We might just wrap it up. There's not much else to talk about. I was hoping we got a half to talk and watch him, but that's not the case.
Yeah, unfortunately, too, after halftime, you're not going to see starters. What you're going to see is you're going to see these, like, maybe some second stringers, but you're going to see third stringers and you're going to see fourth stringers. This is essentially going to be all of your UDFAs playing. You're not going to see, you know, much actual potent football and real takeaways from this. So we wanted to go live, though. We wanted to kind of do a live play-by-play. We wanted to come in here and talk about what the first look at the Patriots that we'll see, at least some of these Patriots that we'll see this upcoming season in terms of starters: Jacoby Brissett, Drake Maye, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson, Kaden Wallace, Chuks Okorafor, just to name some of the players that we wanted to see here. And we didn't get nearly the amount of time with those guys as we originally thought, but we did at least get a look at some of those guys. We broke down all of our thoughts earlier on in the beginning of the stream when those guys came out and played some football. So if you want to hear about our thoughts on some of these rookies, some of the new guys, how's Ramondre looking coming back, how's Christian Gonzalez looking coming back, we touched on all of that. So make sure you guys go ahead and resume this video because it will be there for a replay if you guys haven't seen the whole thing. But we are going to log off here for the rest of the stream. Everybody continue to watch the game, enjoy the game. I know it's 7-0. It's the first preseason game. People usually start leaving by the beginning of the third quarter anyway. Yeah. So
I bet people left at the start of the second quarter once Drake Maye didn't come out when they saw Bailey Zappe. So
exactly. I mean, this is going to be also kind of a preview on what's going to be happening this upcoming season. Now, we're not going to be doing it here on the AFC East Roundtable, but what I'm going to be doing on my own personal channel over on Patriots Global. You guys can go ahead and subscribe to the link in the description box below. Also subscribe to Jace for more Patriots content at the Patriots Drive podcast. But this upcoming season, I'm going to be doing live watch parties for every single game that the New England Patriots play in this upcoming season. So if you guys liked what you saw here today, you guys like the breakdowns, you like being kind of activated here and animated and talking within the community during these games, then check me out over at Patriots Global because that's going to be your one-stop shop when we actually have potent football to watch and football that actually matters. But Jace, any last words?
No, I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I think this was the most watched show. I was just checking on my phone. I mean, again, King Jamie said it, hit the like button. We got up to about 80 viewers at one point. So really appreciate that. We're at 52 watching right now, and we have how many likes? Sorry, 58. So appreciate you guys. Hit that like button. Yeah, make sure you turn on post notifications for AFC East Roundtable, Patriots Roundtable, both Colby's channel at Patriots Global and mine at Patriots Drive, because the season's coming up. You're going to have live shows. We're going to go live together on Patriots Roundtable after most or before most games. I'll go live with Cole on the Patriots Drive podcast. So for the season, I know, there's a lot of unknown. We'll see how the team looks, and, Brissett, Drake Maye, Jalen Polk, or Javon Baker, Jalen Polk. And so make sure you guys are subscribed to all three of these Patriots channels, mine, Colby's, and the Patriots Roundtable, so you guys can stay up to date. Because, it might not be the worst year we had like last year, but it's probably going to be a little bit rough too. But hopefully we see some improvements, and you guys want to be tuned into some of these shows so you guys can get our thoughts and we can talk with you in the chat. So, but yeah, I just appreciate all the support. The channel just keeps growing. We started this is what, show 4 or 5? I forget, 4.
Yeah, I think it's 4.
So keep growing it. We appreciate all the support.
Yeah, of course. You guys tuning in on a consistent basis really helps us out here. We definitely need to grow the Patriots representation on this channel. As you guys could tell earlier with us getting into it with some Dolphins fans, which, hey, Dolphins fans, despite some of the delusion, it truly is all love. It's football at the end of the day. It's just a game, and I truly do have nothing but respect for every single fan, no matter what fan you are of the National Football League. I will be on Bleacher Report after the New England Patriots game against the Panthers. So make sure you go ahead and check me out at Patriots Global. There'll be links there and whatnot on how you guys can go ahead and check out my post-game thoughts about the Patriots' first preseason game. And then either later tonight or early tomorrow, I'll have winners and losers from the Patriots preseason game. But guys, we really, really appreciate you guys for go ahead and checking out the channel and tuning us in for a live video. Again, we understand not a lot of hype around the Patriots, but you guys still came in and you came to tune in, and that's why, Pats Nation, we are still on the rise. So never forget us. But we appreciate you guys for watching, and we will be back next week. Go Pats.